Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage, an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. LoFi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Barkley. Nice cut. There he goes. Saquon to the end zone. Touchdown Giants.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drawing About the G-Men Giants Football Podcast. And the Cowboys handed the Giants their first loss this season on Monday Night Football. I mean, you saw the little intro there. Last week there were a bunch of stuff I put on. Now only just one play. Really, really tough. Joe, we were talking about it a little bit on the pre-show. Like the Giants, like it was cute, them starting off 2-0. I liked it as a fan, obviously. But this is the reality check. And this is going to be, I think this next upcoming week with the Bears, we'll get to that, is going to be very, very big because this is where we've seen the McAdoos. This is where we've seen the Shermers. This is where we've seen the Joe Judges really fumble and bobble here after their first time facing adversity. You faced adversity. You lost to a Cooper Rush. Now, any other Giants team the past couple years, this would be the start of their downfall. This one loss will turn into 3, turn into 5, turn into a high draft pick. So this is going to be this Bears team is not good. We'll get to it. This is going to be the real bounce back thing here. And then we were talking about it also on the pre-show. O-line's really bad. Pro Football Focus still has them as the top-rated O-line after these first 3 weeks. I don't know. That says a little something about PFF, just saying that. But, yeah, it really struggled. DeMarcus Lawrence had himself a big, big game, getting all those sacks in after the quarterback. This is really Evan Neal's, like, welcome to the league moment, having to go up against him, letting up those sacks. And Kayvon Thibodeau, that first drive, he was out there. There was one play, I think it was like the third or something play, like he was just staring, like he was looking all over the field, didn't know where to be. Like this is the Giants we all expected. We had that fun 2-0 there those first couple weeks, but this is the New York Giants, and they're still trying to find their identity, and that's why you're losing to a backup quarterback. And now Cooper Rush, 3 wins in the NFL as a starter, 2 of them against the Giants. So I'm not happy as Giants. I've been the Giants optimist, but I'm struggling here. And now Daniel Jones, I mean, undefeated in prime. Winless in prime time now after this game. There were times there like he looks lost. The only real upside so far these first 3 games is he hasn't turned the ball over as much. But that's going to do it as far as my rank goes right now. Joe, what did you see from this game?
Well, they look terrible. They look like the same mopey Giants of the last 6 years. It was a pretty disappointing performance. This offensive line's got to get it together. They were absolutely pathetic. It was an embarrassing performance from the offensive line. Daniel Jones can't do Daniel Jones things if he's under pressure on 80% of his dropbacks. Here's the other thing I'll note. The last 2 weeks, he's thrown the ball 34 and 37 times. Let's dial that back into the low 20s and let's get the ball in Saquon's hands about 30 times. That's going to be the key to winning these football games, and until Daniel Jones can click and figure out this offense, if that's even possible. But here's the other thing. Look, you've got 2-1 teams going. Somebody's leaving there 3-1, and there's no reason why it can't be the Giants. Here's my other thing, Zay, where I was just pointing this out to Jace. When we went through the schedule before the season and I picked out games the Giants would lose, I had Dallas on that list for both games. I had the Giants beating Carolina, and I had the Giants losing to the Titans. So they're already one win ahead of where I thought they would be, which again puts them in a near 500 situation. So anything, if they can get this together and click as the season progresses, win another game or two on that list of games they shouldn't, you don't know what this team could turn into, but they got to get it together. It's what a shame. Thibodeau's debut was a disaster. Nothing good came of this. Zay, I would also suggest, and I said this last week and you disagreed, there's going to be weeks where they're going to get it handed to them. They're going to get blown out. If Dak was healthy and playing in this game, the Cowboys would have probably scored 40 points. He's feeling really good about himself right now.
Oh, okay. You can't hear him?
Yeah, can you?
I can't hear me then. Okay, I was just like, you're nodding, so I didn't know if that was an issue on my hand. Yeah, we can't hear you, Zay. I don't know.
I love when Zay has his I'm right face, or it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Get your audio together. Get it together and let's hear this.
Nah, but it's now you're actually muted. Let's see.
Well, look, it wasn't what they wanted, but
Yeah,
you know,
you're gonna
have those games. All right,
can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, bring it.
All right. I hate to interrupt your funeral, guys. It's not that real. It's a rebuilding team. It's a team that's going to face ups and downs. Joe, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I don't know. Again, the defense we know is missing Leonard Williams. It helped the Cowboys out majorly in the run game, and it helped make that game a little lopsided. We'll get him back. I'm not really too worried about that. We obviously know we needed a corner in the beginning of the year. That's nothing new. We're still missing guys who Allen Robinson will be coming back. Aaron Robinson will be coming back, I believe this week to come back in corner. So hopefully he can, jumpstart that position and be the person that they saw in training camp and reason they gave him that spot. But yeah, I'm not down on the Giants. You guys pointed out basically everything that happened in the game, minus the penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty, which could have been a huge momentum swing. Had that not been a penalty, we could be talking about a Giants W that probably shouldn't have been a W or whatever the heck it would be, because I believe Golladay was actually pretty open on that play. He probably would have scored a touchdown, honestly. And again, those are the breaks. It happens. It's part of a football season. I'm happy the Giants aren't losing on freakish ways anymore, like 68-yard field goals. They're actually losing games. Look, they're going to learn things. They're going to learn to compete. They're going to learn to win. They're going to learn to lose, and they're going to learn to bounce back. You got to learn all of that stuff, and you're going to see all that during the rebuild. I'm not too worried about this. I honestly feel they'll learn to bounce back this week, and they will bounce back against Chicago. I think they're two very similar teams trying to figure it out. I believe the Giants, to me, if things can get clicking offensively, I think the Giants are a better team because, to me, I think defensively, I think the Giants are solid. I'm going to be real with you guys. Outside of the corner position, I think we need to lock up the corner position, but I think that defense is really, really getting better to me. Honestly, there were times when the Giants defense are on the field so many times, and you could just see them just crumble in the end. But this is a game where the offense let them down. The defense was on the field a ton of times, and they didn't crumble. They kept this game close all the way to the end. They played this game to the end. Obviously, they let up big plays. That's what happens when you're on the field a lot. But again, this defense didn't crumble. They didn't let up the 40 points. They didn't let up the 50 points. They kept this a game. I'm seeing changes, guys. I'm so serious with you guys. I'm watching a team that Dable is coaching, and they're competing in all assets of the game. They're going to make mistakes. They're learning. We mentioned before Daniel Jones, he made mistakes. We see the progression in learning he is. Look, Daniel Jones may not be the guy. I'm sorry to say he may not be the guy. But for now, this is the guy, and I need people to get behind him. I'm tired of the media ripping him for shreds for everything he does. I think the kid can play some solid football. I think he needs some receivers, and I'm confident that Galladay is going to turn it around.
Listen, Zay,
I'm really confident that Galladay is going to turn it around because there's nothing else at this point. The Giants aren't going to trade him, and if you trade him, you're not getting talent for him. You're going to get draft capital for your rebuilding.
Zay, you said this isn't the same old Giants. I think this is right now the same old Giants. The defense is playing better. This is maybe the same Giants we saw from Joe Judge's first year. Like I've been saying this, like I've been joking around about it the past couple years on this show. But Giants, they can win field goal battles, and those first two games, that's what they were, field goal battles. This game, it even was a field goal battle until Dallas, until it wasn't.
It was only a field goal battle, though, because it was Cooper Rush and not Dak Prescott. And so they're going to have a really hard time against good teams.
It was a field goal battle before.
2 or 3 of those field goals into touchdowns and finish, that's going to be the big thing with Dable. If he can get Daniel Jones to finish on those drives and score touchdowns, this isn't the Giants right now. I think they are an upgrade from the laughing stock they have been the past couple of years with Brian Dable in these games. I think they're mediocre right now, but if they can turn in and finish on some of those plays, some of those drives, this is a team that can be competing with a lot of those teams you said earlier, Joe, that were on those not going to win games for the Giants. And it could be a completely different Giants team, but they need to finish.
This is not. They were impotent because Daniel Jones and everything was holding them back. They're now being held back just because they need somebody at the wide receiver position to step it up. Just one guy. I'm so serious. If one guy at the wide receiver position can step it up for the Giants, that could be a whole different offense for them. I'm so serious.
Chase, if my mother had gills, she'd be a fish. You said if about 100 times. There's a lot of ifs. I'll tell you what, for Zay, I literally was just reading this. Brian Dable's been FaceTiming with free agent wide receivers, so clearly Kenny Galladay's not the answer. If the Giants were to cut him now, they're $21 million in dead cap money. After the season, it's $6.8 million. So the Giants, unfortunately, are not cutting off their nose despite their face. Why they don't run him out there is beyond me. I don't know why you wouldn't at least play the guy. That seems so unbelievably idiotic. It really does. I mean, have the guy go out there and have 7 catches and a touchdown in a game, and maybe somebody would want him in a trade of any sort. Do something, though. He can't not play.
If he can get that, I'd probably want to keep him. If he can get to something like he was on the Lions, I wouldn't be opposed to keeping him. I need people to understand. I'm not opposed to keeping Kenny Galladay. I'm opposed to keeping him the way he's playing now. If he could be the person he was to get the money, I'm all for keeping him. He was amazing that year in the Lions. I need people to understand this guy can play. You don't just lose talent like this. This is a Space Jam. Aliens didn't come and suck away his powers. The man can still play football. He's just got to figure it out. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something mentally holding him back, but he's got to figure it out. You don't just forget how to be. You don't just go from being one of the top receivers in football to nothing in a year.
Yeah, that's what happens when you lose Matt Stafford as your quarterback.
Jesus
Look
Christ.
what he did with Cooper Kupp. Like, I mean, Kenny Galladay. Yeah, that's what happened. It's a completely different guy. I love Daniel Jones. I've been a big Daniel Jones supporter, but he's not throwing it down the field like he has in the past this year.
I agree
saw
with
him
you.
with
He
him
hasn't been
last year, not being able to
been.
get him the football. Like Kenny Golladay has that when he has a quarterback who can get him the football. Daniel Jones can't get him the football. Matthew
Did
Stafford
you miss when he hit him right in the chest and he dropped the ball? Oh, were you watching the same game? Daniel Jones has been hitting this man in the hands and he's been dropping the ball. What are you talking about? Are you watching the games?
You think all of a sudden now he's going to be able to start being able to make those catches, Zay? That's what you're saying.
He's not even looking for Kenny Golladay is the bigger problem. I mean, they're not even putting him in the game plan at all. And when he's in the game, they're not looking to target him. So
he hit him on the curl route on 3rd and long and he dropped it. He literally
listen, no, that's fine.
It.
No, listen, Zay, I'm with you. I mean, I know Kenny Golladay knows how to play football. I'm trying to figure out for the life of me why that's a big hole right now on this team. You got a guy who was a Pro Bowler who you signed to a big money contract. Why? I don't understand. I mean, my God, I would just run that guy. I'd be like, Jones, just throw the goddamn ball at him.
I don't understand it. I can understand how Gary's Tony's always hurt and he don't play.
Yeah, he must practice really hard. Would be my guess. Here's the other thing, Zay. Here's the other thing I mentioned. I think this is a problem, but Daniel Jones throwing the football 37 times is stupid.
Any quarterback throwing the ball 37 times is doesn't mean that you're having a good day. I'm being honest with you.
Sure thing, unless it's Tom Brady, and then maybe you're onto something. But yes, the game plan's not for this guy to throw the football 37 times because the other thing is it's like 37 dump passes. The Giants continue to not throw the football down the field at all. Yeah. And so all the dump passes really, in essence, actually counter the idea of opening up the run with the pass because it's just dump zone. Why would anybody just not play up on the line? You're setting yourself up to not pick up yards. And again, Saquon having an excellent season, 14 carries. And here's the last thing, that interception by Jones, the only thing I didn't like about it was there was a ton of time left on the clock.
Stills, wait, that wasn't Jones. Stills fell for nobody touched him. The ball's for Stills. He fell on his own.
Slow down. It was a desperation throw at a junction of the game where there was still plenty of time left on the clock. The Giants, I've seen the Giants have like a minute 15 to go with Jones at quarterback. And you're like, all right, let's see this. And by 43, like they've turned the ball over and you're like, you had all that time to run it down, at least get closer, take a shot. Listen, Zay, hold on. I'm not holding it against him. I understand Sills fell down. I don't have a problem. Hold on, Zay. I don't have a problem with a last second heave interception. I get it. It's part of the game. I do when there's like 50 seconds left in the game. That's not the time to take a shot unless you had Sills wide open and you didn't.
He's got
even if he doesn't fall down, there's no telling he's going to complete the pass. You need a first down there. So you can keep the clock moving.
He got separation.
And give yourself another.
There was separation there. No receiver all night was getting separation. That was the one time I actually agree with him when the receiver actually got something. That is the biggest problem with the Giants. It's not that they're not
big moment in the game. Big moment in the game.
Yes,
a lot of time.
How many times are we going to make this same excuse? Like I've been a Daniel Jones.
Not his.
How many times are we going
separation?
To make this same
the receivers have to learn to create their own separation.
That guy's fault.
If you can't create separation, you can't go down the field. I'm just being real with you.
Stop. Listen, Zay, I don't have a problem with Daniel Jones. I think he's playing pretty well. I think this line is epically failing him. Sills falling was in. My point is there's a lot of time left in that game still. He should have looked for a first down there. You want to take a shot down the field another 30 seconds from now, that's fine. Because, listen, I thought this team still had a chance to win.
They did.
And I'll tell you what. No, they did, right? They had a chance to come back and win the game. And I'll bet you he would have gone for 2. You can't throw a ball down the field like that, and especially when you don't do it. You haven't really been very successful with it with that much time left on the clock. You got to get closer. You got to get a first down there, get closer, and then you throw your heave and hope you get some separation. That's the only thing I like about it. I'm not blaming him for a last-second interception. Jay said that to me before the show, and I was like, nah. It was just, to me, it was too early to take a big risk like that.
Saying. Too early.
Not his fault, though.
I agree with you. Too early for that play. But when the line has been playing as the way they've been playing all night, you knew you had to take a chance, and they probably tried to catch them off guard because in the 3rd and long situation, you're thinking pass. People, they thought situationally maybe they'll catch them off guard. That's really what I'm thinking they thought. Because I agree with you. It was early for it. I do believe they could have thrown a couple of screens, a couple of short passes, got down the field out of bounds. I agree with you all the way on that.
Zay, if he completes it, we're having a totally different conversation about it, right? I mean, he saw it. He saw it, still screwed up, and that happens. I mean, again, I watched all of Eli Manning's early career and saw that a lot, where off hands, bad routes, guys not going where they're supposed to go, but the ball did, and the safety happened to be there. So I think Daniel Jones is playing really well. There's no reason Saquon's not getting the ball 30 times. He's got to have the football more. You got to play Kenny Golladay. You're totally right about the quarterback position. Hopefully Robinson can be the boost there. If we see a pass rush, I think it'll really go a long way, but Jones got to start getting some first downs here. Keep the ball moving at least a little bit to keep these guys off the field.
I think I'm turning heel on Daniel Jones. I've been a big supporter. Just hearing all this.
Why would you do it now?
Because I mean, this is the season. He hasn't turned the ball over.
Real quick,
2-1.
Here's Jace. Hold on, Jace. I want you to finish.
Hold on,
I want you to finish.
They just haven't been
Jace,
scoring.
I want you to finish, but I need to explain this. You're like the guy that culminates a 3-year long distance relationship. And she finally finishes grad school and she moves in with you. And 2 weeks later, you're like, yeah, I'm out.
No.
What?
Listen,
you put all that time in on Daniel Jones.
You've
Own
been
it.
Here. I know. But this is the point. The best I can say for him is he isn't turning the ball over as much as he has in the past right now.
How about the fact that he's 2-1?
I understand, but get in the end zone. Score the touchdowns.
Wait.
This field goal stuff isn't
up here.
Listen.
He's always forever you backing him. He's finally 2-1 and you're jumping
I get it. Listen, Zay. I get that him throwing the ball. This is what we saw at the end of last season. Him throwing the ball all this much.
I wish we saw him at the end of last season. He didn't play.
You have to finish the drives. You have to finish the drives.
That statement is very true. More times than not, Jones isn't having the time to get Golladay the ball. But also, when he does have time, Galladay's not getting open. But also, on the rare occasion, he's not under pressure. Galladay's not even in the game. That's how bad things are.
Daniel Jones has gotten so many excuses.
Bro, Richie James is on my fantasy football team, and he's a starter.
That's a good pick. That's actually good. Richie James has been balling.
I love Richie James.
I'm sick and tired of making excuses for Daniel Jones. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't have to make excuses. You finally don't have to make excuses when you're jumping ship. This is what I'm not understing. He's 2-1.
I'm jumping ship now because I see this is the Giants. This is the same Giants. Not being able to finish. Not being able to get into the end zone.
They could easily be 0-3 right now.
Easily.
They could easily be 0-3 right now if not for the play of Daniel Jones.
If he doesn't run for a first down against the Panthers.
Plain and simple.
If he doesn't get them down the field against the Titans at the end of the game. But now you want to jump ship.
Let me go one further with you, Zay. I think you'll like this. Again, I made a big deal about that P throw a little bit too early. And because, again, I feel like he gets a first down there. Maybe he runs for whatever. Get a first down. I think the Giants could have came back and won this football game. I think he rushed it. And again, I understand. Listen, the pressure he was under it's unfair. And to keep judging this guy when he's running for his life is to suggest that it's like blaming a domestic violence abuser for getting hit. Okay. He's doing the best he can given the lousy circumstances around him. He's got a wide receiver making a ton of money who's not even on the field for some reason. Okay. He's got an offensive line that they put all these resources into at the expense of the cornerback on defense. And he's still under pressure on 75% of his dropbacks, that's a problem. And it's not a Daniel Jones problem.
Nope,
when this guy's got time, he looks good. When he makes good throws down the field, he looks good. They need to give him time. They need to start throwing the ball down the football field, stop the dump off stuff, and that'll really open up and give Saquon a chance to break off some more, because this team's got to start scoring 20 points a game plus. You want to be around 24, 25 points a game if you seriously think you're going to become a contender. This 20 and 16 crap isn't going to get it done.
Dallas defense is really good, though. I think it's severely
They certainly
underrated.
are.
I think they
certainly are. And again, you had a chance to go down the football field, score a touchdown, get your 2-point conversion, 24-23. That's how you beat good teams in this league. He cut himself short. I only blame Daniel Jones a little bit on that one, Zay, because I really believe if he would have made a better play there, got a first down, that he could have put himself in position to win that game. And if the Giants are 3-0, having beaten Dallas, again, everybody would have been having a much different conversation after that football game. It's a shame that the Giants, they laid an egg here pretty bad. And the best part of sucking so much the last few years is you've got the Bears coming up this week, and you couldn't ask for a better situation, because I don't think there's a worse quarterback in the league right now than Justin Fields. He's awful.
Hey, well, I will say, Daniel, going from a team like the Giants, Daniel Jones throwing too much, Justin Fields, I mean, the Bears have thrown the least out of any football team. Justin Fields hasn't really been able to.
And yet he still has more interceptions than Daniel Jones at 4.
You're right. And I remember.
And Daniel Jones has outrushed. He's outrushed Justin Fields as well. So don't forget that now.
Yeah, I will say a couple years ago, the last college football season of Justin Fields at Ohio State, I remember we were talking about him on All 4 Downs. Make sure you check that out. And I brought up he looks a lot like Daniel Jones at times, and you guys all clowned me. But hey, this is what he has that talent, he has that ability to make some plays, but there's all this stuff around him that's inhibiting him. But
here's a funny thing. Here's a funny thing. Everybody wants to talk crap about the Alabama quarterbacks, right? So let's go there for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look at
the most Super Bowl ones.
Tua was surrounded by trash on offense, and now he's got a good offense. And wow, look what's happening. When you put an offensive line in front of somebody and you get them some talent, they're going to be good if they've got talent. Jalen Hurts looks exceptional right now because he's got talent around him. And he's also able to make plays with his feet.
He's also played slop for the last couple of weeks. The Giants, Washington, the Lions, and the Jaguars.
Fair enough. Again, when you're a bad team, you get an easy schedule, and they're taking advantage of it. I still don't think Jalen Hurts is. I don't think Jalen Hurts is their long-term solution there, but he's playing really well right now. And the idea in this league is to win football games. Everybody's very obsessed with their fantasy team, and so you want your guy to score 20 or 30 points a week. And you forget about what the record is. Again, the Giants 4 games into this season are going to be 3-1. And I'm sorry to say, you can't ignore that because it's a team sport. And it's all about the wins and the losses. There's no way the Bears are going to win this football game. I think everybody in Chicago knows there's no way they're going to be 3-1. They're just not that good.
Easy.
The best Chicago, honestly, the most optimistic Bears fan is right now is like, hey, look, we leave this game 2-1-1. A tie. Seriously?
We understood.
No, I don't get it. How are you? No,
the wit and brilliance I bring to the show gets lost on you guys, and I feel bad. I hope the audience at least is yucking this up.
We understood it, Joe. We just don't. I just don't want to get ahead of myself like you. I'm allowing the game to play itself out.
Again, this is a game that if the Giants are a better football team than they were last year, that they're gonna find a way to win this football game.
Agreed.
And if not, it'll tell you all you need to know. It'll tell you what you need to know about Daniel Jones rebounding from a tough loss. It'll tell you what you need to know about Brian Daboll getting this team prepared coming off a loss, and whether they can sustain, a winning attitude and get over a bad week and come back with a good one. So a lot is riding on this game for not just Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and Kenny Golladay, but just the idea of what this team's going to look like going forward. And here's the big thing, Zay, and you've said this about 50 times so far this season. It's a rebuilding year.
Keep reminding. Got to keep reminding people.
It's a rebuilding year. It really is. And for Jones and for Barkley, it's a transition year. This is your chance to stay with this team or go. So I don't know. I like where this team is at right now. I'm very happy. I'm actually enjoying watching these games for the first time in years. It's not absolute misery. Again, I wish Jones would have gave himself a chance to beat Dallas here at the end. The heave just came a little too early for me. A little too risky to make that play with so much time left on the clock. When, again, I think this guy's good enough that he probably could have finished that thing off and put him in the end zone.
He's probably seeing ghost at that point in the game. He's been hit so much. He's probably at that point. He's probably just rushing everything, trying to just look for an opportunity because, again, he's been under pressure the whole game. He hasn't had much opportunity to throw the ball, and he finally did, so he took his opportunity to throw the ball down the field, and that's probably what it just came down to. It happens. Mental mistake, he'll learn from it, he'll move on, and he'll make better decisions going forward because that's what Jones seems to do.
What does Jones have to do with a team that's rebuilding? Here's the thing. What? If you have to, yeah, I know that almost didn't make sense for a second, but he was asking, what does Daniel Jones have to do with a rebuilding team to show that he's the guy moving forward? He's got to show them that he can win football games. You got to win football games in the NFL, plain and simple. He's got to make good decisions week in and week out. Again, Zay, I'm holding him. Hold on. I'm holding him to a slightly higher standard when I say I think that he was a little ill-advised there. I think he has to hold off on going down the field like that. That's how good I think Daniel Jones is and can be because, listen, this team is putting together and filling all the holes that we've had. And next year's draft, I'm sure it's going to include center guard.
Please, God.
That's definitely going to be the focus here. It would really benefit this football team if they don't have to draft Bryce Young or AJ Richards or whoever. You know what I mean? If Daniel Jones can be the guy for the next 5, 6, 8 years, and you keep Saquon around and you use that defense and those young stud guys, you get another cornerback in the draft. You know what I mean? They can do some things here. Daniel Jones just has to be able to keep this team on the football field for an equal amount of time as the opponents, regardless of score. I think, though, if the Giants have the time of possession, they're going to win a lot more games, Jace. Based off of what you said, they can win field goal battles. Not if their defense is on the field for 40 minutes. They're not. No. You're definitely going to give up a touchdown at some point in that game, and then your 9's not going to match up to their 13. It's just not. So that's the thing that this team's really got to do. And if Daniel Jones can show them, even maybe in spite of not having a Kenny Golladay, that he can move the football down the football field with a pretty good amount of success. They got to start utilizing his skills. He's a really good running quarterback. He can throw the football down the field, and it's two things they're still not doing enough of.
I got one question for you guys, though. Did Daniel Jones, I've said what I've said so far this show on him, but if you can keep making up excuses like, oh, he needs this, he needs that. How do you explain what Trevor Lawrence is doing right now down in
Why don't you tell me about Aaron Rodgers?
Have you watched the games? They have nothing. Have you watched the games?
Why don't
playing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Explain to me what the problem is with Aaron Rodgers. What is he surrounded with at receiver, and what is he lacking in front of him? They got injuries on the offensive line, and they've got garbage talent receivers, and suddenly he's not throwing for 350 and 4 touchdowns anymore. Really? They're not exactly lighting it up in Green Bay.
I know, but
outside of
let Tyreek hold on, right? They let Tyreek Hill go out of Kansas City, and everybody's like, "Ooh, let's see what Mahomes really has." It's a legitimate question. Everybody who's good has talent around them. Teams that have no talent have no chance in this league. Teams that don't draft well and don't develop players well are teams that are perpetually at the bottom. That's where the Giants have been the last 8 years. It's time to snap out of the funk here.
Yeah.
Jason, I kind of agree with Joe. If the Giants line was playing at a high level, one of the best in the league, and receivers were catching everything in their vicinity, I would honestly say, well, then Ben Jones is the issue. But that isn't the case. And the line has been playing like slop, and the receivers have been playing like slop. And Jones, yet he's continued to find ways to extend plays and keep the Giants in and try to do things to, better the offense. That's what I see.
And he doesn't look frustrated.
Yeah,
you don't
he's
see
not
any
pointing out players. He's not.
You don't see quitting this guy.
Room.
100%, dude. He's an excellent teammate. He was very gracious in his first 2 wins of the season. Was this his best game? No. Is he better than what he played? Yes. Is he proven it the first couple games? Yes. Is he going to beat up on the Bears? Yeah. Saquon's going to have a game too. You'll see.
He better than me. I would have got a locker room. I would blame that all on Galladay. I'm like, he sucked. I threw the ball. He dropped it. He sucked.
You know what I would do if I was Daniel Jones? I would just walk up to Kenny Galladay in practice all week, and I would just whip the ball at him as hard as I could from like a foot away.
Well, look, think about what Odell Beckham did to Eli and what he did to Baker Mayfield. Daniel Jones could easily be putting up a highlight tape or a low light tape of Kenny Galladay, or he could be sitting down with some country singer in an interview on Fox and talking about how bad Kenny Galladay is. But he's not. He honestly goes, hey, look, we'll figure it out. And this is why you like that kid. You like what he brings to the table. And this is why you hope you can move forward with him as for the Giants, because he fits the model that the Giants like at quarterback. And again, like Joe says, it saves us from having to, go out and get other positions filled. If you get what I'm saying, draft a quarterback or pay money to bring in a free agent quarterback when you could be putting that money elsewhere. Think if Jones could be the guy, and we have a ton of cap space, and we have draft.
You were Mr. Band-Aid quarterback all year last year. Let's get.
I completely agree with you. But like I said, from what I've seen the first 3 games, I'm liking what I see from Dable. If he can turn this around, make Daniel Jones the guy, it makes the Giants better for the future. I agree. I want some fancy, sparkly name, but I'm all for what makes the Giants better. If we can keep this guy, get him on a budget deal, get us some more players who could play guard, who could play tackle, and actually, give them some money, and then draft other positions so we have depth. I'm all for that, because now we don't have to worry about the biggest thing on the field, the quarterback. That is the most important part on the field. Once you figure that out, everything else works out so much better.
I think the other thing is, part of New York Giants football is having a stud running back, having a good defense, and having a competent game managing quarterback. And he's, again, to me, very reminiscent of Jeff Hostetler, who was the most mobile quarterback the Giants have ever had up until Daniel Jones.
The hefty lefty.
Stop.
Oh my God! But that's the cute thing. You're talking about Giants football. They aren't doing that.
But they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to, especially if we ever solve climate change and it starts getting cold in New York again in September.
If he could beat Tannehill for us, that would be a blessing. If he could beat Tannehill for us, that would be a blessing. Because then that means we just got to go get him some receivers, fix the line. And he's got a running back. I honestly think if you compare Saquon Barkley with a bigger running back who could take more of the pain and the load, I think that works out better for the Giants. But again, these are things that you can do when you don't have to worry about filling the quarterback position. The quarterback position gets very, very expensive, especially in this league. Everyone's talking about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's going to cost us a lot of fucking money. He's going to cost us a lot of money.
Again, last week winning on a rookie deal. Like, you don't have to pay. Listen, but I will say
real quick.
Okay.
I know Steve Risser's watching, and I criticized Steve Risser once for this. I'm going to do it again. When Mahomes got all that money, Steve and Justin on Sports Talk with RJ just gushed about how great Mahomes was and how much he deserved the money. And they just went on with all sorts of compliments. And I said, you don't think that huge salary is going to be problematic in the future? And it took 1 year for them to have to send Tyreek Hill packing. So if you can, I mean, Daniel Jones, no matter what happens this year, isn't costing you $150 million.
Lamar is.
Yes. And how many playoff wins does Lamar have?
The same as Daniel Jones.
There you go. I'll take a similar skill set for half the price. Yeah, we'll make it work.
But I think I'm sour on the Giants this week, even though it is their first loss. But this week is going to be big, especially for Daniel Jones. Like the Bears, like you need to be able to move the football on this team. You need to be able to get in the end zone. If the Giants can get 2 or 3 touchdowns, I'm happy. I'm very, very optimistic. But if this does turn into a field goal battle like we've seen the past couple of weeks and what we saw last week, and it's a lot. This game really shouldn't be close if the Giants are as good as people are talking about. Like I don't think it should be. I think they need to get in the end zone. That's all I'm saying. That's my big key this week.
Shouldn't be close. But if it's a field goal battle, we got the best weapon in the game. So I'm
That's
okay
true.
with it.
That's what I've been saying. But,
I'm okay with it for now.
I got the Giants winning. I think we'll go 35-17.
Jesus, 35 is the defense score. Special teams we get a special team score.
Listen,
Couple
I'm
of pick
criticizing,
sixes,
but that's what I want to see. That's
30,
what I want to see.
We just talked about
Daniel Jones.
I'm criticizing
the Giants so much, but this is what I want to see.
You lost
Sterling
Shepard, and you're going to put up 35?
If they deserve to be 3-1, that's the type of performance they need.
All right, time out. How about this? How about if the Giants win this football game 24-13?
I was thinking 21-17, somewhere in that ballpark.
Like I said, I need to see 2 to 3 touchdowns at least.
Well, 2 to 3 touchdowns is 21 points, so not 35. I don't know if you just don't know math. Or...
Yeah, then Graham Gano has to get out there.
He's like, I want 5 touchdowns, 4 from Jones, 3 in the air, 1 on his feet. Saquon breaks 1 for 80. Okay. Rizzer's got it, 19-13. That's a solid.
That's a good one. Yeah, I can see something like that.
That's not a score that I'm happy with. The Giants.
I would love.
Thibodeau's getting a touchdown. Everybody's getting.
I'll take this right here. If the Giants could have 4 scoring drives, 3 touchdowns and a field goal in a 24 to whatever game, I would be thrilled with that. Like if he could take this team, on 3 at least 60+ yard drives for touchdowns 3 times in this football game, you have to shave your head again and declare your loyalty to Daniel Jones for the future.
Look, if the Giants score 35 points, I'll come by here.
Yeah.
They could 35 points? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Right. Last time the Giants scored 35 points in a game.
That's what I want to see to prove to me that the Giants are going to
Let's put it out there. Zay will shave his head if Daniel Jones accounts for 5 touchdowns.
I'll cut it all off.
Okay.
There ain't no damn way.
Yeah, that's easy. That's
Daniel Jones, any combination of 5 touchdowns. It could be 3 in the air, 2 with his feet, 5 touchdowns, Daniel Jones. You're bald.
It's not. I said 5, but I said 35, but I don't think it all is all necessarily. I think
that's the Giants never happening. That's a bet I'll take all day.
I think you need to get Saquon the football. I think Saquon scores at least 2 rushing touchdowns.
Jace, are you taking this 5 touchdown Daniel Jones challenge?
No, because I just said it. If they're scoring 5 touchdowns, Daniel Jones isn't scoring all 5 touchdowns. I just want to see 3 from Daniel Jones.
I'm going to repeat this one more time.
No.
If
Daniel Jones accounts for 5 touchdown passes, 5 touchdowns in this week, whatever it is, he runs for 4, he throws for 1. Whatever it ends up being, you shave your head. We should all do it if he does 5. I think we owe him.
5? Yeah, if he does that, yeah, I guess. It's not going to happen.
It's not. It's one thing I don't got to worry about.
But
listen, I want you to imagine yourself bald after the Giants go off on the Bears. It's like 42-0, Jace. It's like one of your dream scenarios.
I would love it.
Daniel Jones sets an NFL or ties an NFL record with 6 touchdowns in the game and like 470 yards in the air,
I'd have the biggest smile shaving my head.
Think about it.
It'd be impossible.
That'd be fun. Too bad.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Sander, why don't you get in on the action? If Daniel Jones throws 5 interceptions in the game, you have to shave your head.
I don't think he's going to throw that many. Jeez.
Sander's down. I know he is. If Daniel Jones does throw 5 picks, Sander's got to shave his head on this show.
Yeah. This is also going to be a big week for Tibbs and Ojulari because, goose egg last week. The Bears, I have criticized the Cowboys O-line in the past, especially last year. They're very banged up. They got some solid guys on there. So, I get it. Struggle, especially for the young Bucks. But now this Bears O-line is, terrible. So you should be able to dominate it, eat it up. So, yeah. So it should be a good one. I see the Bears at the bottom of the barrel. So that's why I think I have faith in the
segment.
Whoa.
Where's the Zay Guru segment? Are we doing this? Where's the Zay Guru segment?
You have one good week, Zay, with the picking the Dolphins.
I'm 3-0 this year. What are you talking about? I'm picking upsets. I'm 3-0, bro. Where you been at?
Listen, okay. We'll take a break from the Giants. We'll get back and we'll talk about some around the league stuff and best bets. But first, what's that say? Daniel throws 5 picks. I'll shave my head and get a Giants logo in my lower back. All right. Let's go, Sander.
I love this. This is good.
Oh, now imagine if Daniel Jones throws – oh, no. He said 5-1. That's the intercept. So if Daniel Jones throws, 25 interceptions and 5 touchdowns, that's going to be – we're all bald.
Yeah.
But, all right.
It's worth it.
So, let's take a break, hear a word from one of our sponsors, and then we'll be back to discuss some stuff from around the league.
There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
Big shout out to Shamrock Home Inspection for sponsoring today's episode. Now, who is, after the first 3 weeks of the season, who is the early season MVP? I know this is a spot like in the past, like Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson taken and then kind of falling off as the years progress. But Joe, who do you got now as an early season front runner for MVP?
Right this second, I know Zay hates them, but it is Jalen Hurts. He's been pretty outstanding. He's got this team off to a really good 3-0 start, and there's a reason a lot of people pick them as maybe a favorite coming out of the NFC. I part of it too is just not anyone else has really particularly stepped up too much. A lot of these teams don't like. Here's the thing for me: so many of these teams have pretty bad flaws. So I don't know. I feel like this is the most parity we've seen in a long time. Yeah, Lamar's definitely. Tua's looking good. It could be any one of those guys. It's 3 weeks in. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I think any one of those guys is a certain pick, and I playing outstanding. I love the way Tua's playing right now.
Yeah. Well, I love that too because I got Jalen Waddle on my fantasy team. Yeah. But Zay, who you got?
It's Mike Evans because he's not there and Brady's struggling and I'm loving it. Nah, I'm being a dick. Seriously, Out of spite, I'm going to say Tua. Because like Joe said, it probably is Jalen Hurts, but out of spite, I'm going to say Tua. Tua's been playing just as well as his team in the top of the division. I said they're going to win. Remember, I said that. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because that's going to be a fun one. And again, Tua, to me, again, a game he should not have been in. He should have been pulled out after that concussion situation. He got back in there, risked it all for a little bit of money he's going to make because that's the NFL, and he's already on the hot seat. So for me, it's Tua out of spite.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I like that too. I had Tua. I mean, right now, Tua and Jalen Hurts are like the front runners. But, I mean, if you want to talk about someone, those are the two names I had penciled down as well. But if you want to talk about someone who we're going to be talking about when the MVP conversation does actually come around, I mean, no disrespect to Tua and Jalen Hurts, but who knows? We haven't seen them keep up this continued success that long, so I can't gauge it. But Josh Allen, first in yards so far, first in touchdowns. I mean, the Bills are the Bills, you know. I mean, if you want to throw in a dark horse,
Barkley, how did you pass on Saquon? That had to be.
He's a Giants hater right now. He doesn't like the
Giants. I'm turning heel.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm turning heel.
Get him on a Jets show. John about the J, man. Get him on the Jets show.
John about the JETS.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? Hey, Zach Wilson's coming back. That's something for the Jets, right?
Wah, wah.
Zach Wilson's been MVP since the preseason, so.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
All right. All right, Zay, you want your guru segment? I'll give you. You can start off with best bets.
By the way, all Zay needs is some of that red string up on his wall, and he would look like an insane conspiracy theorist. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
This is my mother's office. I'm in between homes until November 15th. I'm in between homes.
Thanks for killing that joke.
All right. But Isaiah, you were guru last week, I guess, with the Dolphins pick. Only one of us getting a win. What you got for best bets this week?
I'm gonna take the Jets over the Steelers.
Jets?
I think Zach Wilson comes back and hits it big. Yeah, not really feeling the Steelers. Yeah, I know I made the Jets joke about you, but I'm feeling the Jets this week. Honestly, not a guru pick. Most of the spreads this are really even this week. There isn't like no crazy spread that someone shouldn't lose. I think all the spreads are the way they are because the way the teams have been playing. Like New England, was it +9 for New England? And they've been utter garbage all year, so that makes sense. I mean, I don't know about the Green Bay, but I don't think that's an upset alert. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets.
Hey, that is a road dog, so hey, that's a pretty good pick. But
Joe, who you picking to lose this week?
Who you got?
I'm taking the Giants and 3.
Ooh. Why? Come on, why would you take the Giants? It's so much better for you not to take the Giants, so we don't blame you when they lose.
Well, don't worry about it. I'm also going to bet actual money on the Bears as part of the parlay. So,
oh my God.
I'm either going to lose money in real life or I'm going to lose on the show, and either way, I'll be happy.
Damn. All right. That's rough.
You sound like me with fantasy on Monday when I got CeeDee Lamb and Zeke Elliott on my team and I needed 20 points. I got the win, by the way. It was the most painful win in fantasy ever, but I got the win.
Yeah.
I had Tony Pollard.
Hey, all right. I'm gonna go Vegas -2.5 against the Broncos. Oh, I put that in.
You're taking. I think Vegas is actually going to be that team that goes 0-something before they.
They're not
always on like 0 everything. Watch, Vegas might be that team.
They're not going to. They're going to figure things out eventually. And the Broncos, they're struggling. But I mean, they haven't looked as great as they have. But I'm gonna go Raiders at home. Finally, I don't think they're as bad as 0-4. Like, this is a team, like I had them going to the Super Bowl. So I already look bad. Eventually they're gonna have to figure it out. This
is why they're 0-4. You got to go to the Super Bowl.
Saying if they don't win this game, they're dead to me. All my faith's gone with the Raiders. I still like. They look good on paper. They haven't figured things out. Eventually, I think this is the game where they figure it out. Though, granted, they've been playing tough teams.
I think they're gonna go 0 a while. They're gonna go 0 a lot for a while. I think before they figure it out. I think they might be that one team that does it every year. They might be that one team.
No, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be the Raiders.
Why not? Why not? Tell me why not.
The only way it's not going to be the Raiders is if it's the Bengals.
Hunter Renfro's out. So that leaves you down to one wide receiver for the most part because Walker's been up and down as it is. Your defense has been playing the way it should be playing since you're paying. What's the defensive end that they just gave all that money to? What's his name?
Chandler Jones.
No, not Chandler Jones. The other Jesus. What's the other? Anyway, whatever. The fact of the matter is they're not playing up to the level they should be playing, and they could be 0-something for a while based on the fact that they think they're too talented to lose. Just based on that fact. And honestly, like I said, without the wide receiver help, you double up Devontae Adams and make you beat them. Make everyone else beat you. That's literally what they've been doing.
I mean, and that's how they're winning. Have Josh Jacobs. I know hasn't been as good as he was a couple years ago, but I think that's a guy you can
lock up Adams and make everyone else beat you. That's what teams have been doing. That's what teams did with Justin Jefferson last week. That's literally how Minnesota won. They had found a way to win through everybody else because Justin
and
Jefferson
also Kirk Cousins stinks.
He stunk. Let
me tell you something. The Raiders have never started 0-3 and made the playoffs ever.
Yeah, very few teams have.
I don't think
you want to know how many. You want to know what percentage of teams has started 0-3 and made the playoffs?
Thank you, Max Crosby.
3%.
3. Damn.
Yep, 6 teams have done it ever.
I think the Raiders have the talent to be the 7th team. I will say that.
I can't wait till they're 0-4. We're sitting here again, and I'm like, Guru.
Yeah, and they're dead to me. They're dead to me.
You keep giving me this fire. You know that, right? You keep lighting this fire because they're going to lose. They're going to lose. Right. I'm going to reclip this one too. The Raiders are going to lose. They will be 0-4. They're going to be 0-something for a while.
Yeah, first 3 weeks. That's a while.
I'm gonna do my knock.
Is a while. Okay, whatever. So, all right, just to recap, Zay, you got the Jets. Joe, Giants. I picked Giants last week. That didn't work. And I got the Raiders.
Well, the Giants weren't going to beat the Cowboys. I mean, I 100% knew that. Again, I like the fact that they had a chance to win that football game, but they will beat up the Chicago Bears this week. They're going to win that game by at least 6 points.
I think they will too. I agree with you. I think the Dable influence is going to push them across the line. I think he's going to have the right attitude.
Big week. Big week. This is going to be the determining week, whether this is a new Giants team or whether it's the same old stuff, whether the Dable stuff works.
How is this the determining week? How is this
the first time I'll tell you.
I agree with that. Listen,
it's terrible. Yes.
They played like garbage. They have to have had a good week of practice. They gotta bounce back and put that last dismal performance behind them. I do think it's an important game for this team. Again, 3-1 in the NFL is huge. And again, on my list, this is a game the Giants are supposed to win. And they're undefeated so far in games they're supposed to win. And they're already split in games they're supposed to lose. So we're ahead of the pace. So this is a huge game for the Giants. It's a game they should win. They need a good bounce back win and they need a much better performance by that offensive line. So huge game for the Giants. I'll tell you what, you're going to have a hard time if the Giants beat the Bears up, and I think they're going to beat them, like I said, definitively. This isn't going to come down to the wire.
Hope so.
I'm going to be giddy about how good this football team can be.
Yeah. They can.
But you're off the ship already. You can't come back. You've already written.
What?
You can't come back. When this team is 8-5, you can't come back talking about, I'm on the Jones wagon. You're off the Jones wagon already. We're doing this today. Week 3.
I've told you what I want to see from them.
We're keeping
I've told
receipts.
you what I want to see from them.
Week 3,
and I'll keep my
off the
receipts.
wagon.
I've made it very clear what I want to see from this Giants team. If they can do that, they can win me back over. They can score 3+ touchdowns in a game.
Jace,
they can win me back over.
3. Are you on the Jones wagon or not? Let's be clear.
Right now,
no.
Right
all right,
now,
then don't come back. Right there, because here's what you are. Here's the thing: you can't be right now. No, because if he sucks and he's terrible, he's not coming back. So be on that side. Be on that side. I will be on the side of optimism that he will figure it out because he's already shown me he can do that. But make sure you stay on your side.
I've been on that side forever. I'm sick and tired. O-line this, wide receiver that.
Week 3, Jones. You're off the Jones wagon. That's
He's in my microscope now. I'm putting the blame on him now. I'm sick. I'm not making any more excuses.
He's in your rearview mirror.
The O-line's bad.
He's done.
Like Russell Wilson in Seattle, when your O-line struggles, you got to figure it out sometimes if you're good enough.
Again, we're talking about an O-line we knew was going to struggle coming into. Evan Neal is still young. The guards are replaceable. Evan Neal will pick it up.
Look at Joe Burrow last year.
Just as bad as Evan Neal was.
They had a bad, good quarterback can figure out.
He will figure it out.
Despite their tools. Daniel Jones, these years we've seen him, hasn't been able to figure it out with whatever tools he's had. He's shown little glimpses here and there, but eventually you got to figure it out, and he hasn't. So that's where I'm at right now.
Raiders will be 0-4. Jones will start to prove you wrong. Remember I said this.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll see. All right. But I think that's going to do it for John about the G-Men. Big Jace, Joe Guire, King Zay. We'll be back next week. Also, big shout out to Chris Sawyer and Andy Mack Home Mortgage and Shamrock Home Inspection for sponsoring today's episode. Also, you can find more information on this podcast and a bunch of other great podcasts as well at clovercrestmedia.com. But for us at John About the G-Men, let's go Giants. Big win this week. And let's hope next week we can be talking about a 3-1 team and see where they go as they hit the real strong part of their schedule. We'll see.
What is
Later. Hey, I'm just turning into a real New York fan. I'm going to criticize the crap out of them and be happy.
Run the credits. I'm out.
But, all right. See you next week for more John About the G-Men. Peace out, guys.
Barkley. Nice cut. There he goes. Saquon to the end zone. Touchdown, Giants.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule it a catch by Manning.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All 4 Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.